Part 1. Introduction. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn opens with Huck Finn narrating the events that have transpired since the end of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, another novel by Mark Twain. Huck Finn, a young boy around 13 or 14 years old, now lives with the widow Douglas, who has taken him in and attempts to civilize him. The widow Douglas, along with her sister, Miss Watson, tries to instill in Huck the values of education, religion, and proper behavior. However, Huck, who cherishes his freedom and independence, finds the strict rules and restrictions stifling. Huck's longing for freedom is compounded by his troubled family life. His father, Pap Finn, is a drunken and abusive man who resents Huck for being educated and civilized by the widow Douglas. Pap Finn, who appears only briefly in the novel but casts a long shadow over Huck's life, represents the worst aspects of society at the time. He's ignorant, violent, and morally bankrupt. Despite Pap's neglect and mistreatment, the court awards him custody of Huck, citing his paternal rights. Fearing Pap's abuse and recognizing the grim prospect of living under his father's control, Huck decides to escape. He stages his own murder, making it look like a violent break-in and killing, and escapes to Jackson Island, a secluded spot on the Mississippi River. Here, Huck hopes to find peace and freedom from the oppressive forces in his life. On Jackson Island, Huck's encounter with Jim, Miss Watson's slave, marks a significant turning point in the narrative. Jim has run away after overhearing Miss Watson discussing plans to sell him downriver, separating him from his family. Jim's escape mirrors Huck's desire for freedom, and the two form an unlikely bond as they share a mutual goal of evading capture and seeking independence. Huck's relationship with Jim becomes the emotional core of the novel, as their journey down the Mississippi River unfolds. Despite the stark differences in their social status, Huck, a white boy from a troubled background, and Jim, a black man seeking freedom from slavery, they form a deep and genuine friendship based on mutual respect and shared experiences. This friendship challenges Huck's preconceived notions about race and society, prompting him to question the moral implications of slavery and his role in Jim's quest for freedom. Part 2. Escape and Journey. After staging his own murder and escaping to Jackson Island, Huck Finn finds himself in an uncertain but liberating position. Free from his abusive father and the constraints of society, Huck begins his journey down the Mississippi River with Jim, Miss Watson's runaway slave. Their journey together not only becomes a physical voyage but also a transformative experience that challenges Huck's worldview and moral compass. Huck and Jim construct a makeshift raft and begin their journey down the Mississippi River. The raft becomes their sanctuary, a symbol of freedom and refuge from the harsh realities of society. As they navigate the river, Huck and Jim encounter both beauty and danger in the natural world. The river serves as a powerful backdrop against which their adventures and personal growth unfold. Huck and Jim's relationship deepens as they spend more time together on the raft. Initially wary of each other due to their societal roles, Huck as a white boy and Jim as a black slave, they gradually form a strong bond based on mutual trust, respect, and shared experiences. Jim becomes a father figure to Huck, offering him guidance and protection that he never received from his own father, Pap Finn. In turn, Huck's companionship provides Jim with emotional support and camaraderie during his quest for freedom. Along their journey, Huck and Jim encounter various characters and situations that test their resolve and beliefs. They come across a wrecked steamboat overrun by robbers, from whom they narrowly escape with both treasure and knowledge of danger. The encounter with the Grangerford family exposes them to the senseless violence of a long-standing feud with the Shepherdsons, illustrating the destructive consequences of blind adherence to tradition and honor. Through these encounters, Huck witnesses firsthand the complexities of human nature and the injustices prevalent in society, prompting him to question the moral values and societal norms he has been taught. As Huck continues his journey with Jim, he grapples with profound moral dilemmas that challenge his understanding of right and wrong. His friendship with Jim forces him to confront the hypocrisy of a society that deems Jim as property rather than recognizing his humanity and inherent rights. Huck's internal struggle intensifies as he weighs the consequences of aiding a runaway slave against his growing affection and loyalty towards Jim. Despite societal pressure and his own conflicted conscience, Huck ultimately chooses to protect Jim and help him achieve freedom, marking a significant moral awakening and personal growth. For both Huck and Jim, the journey down the Mississippi River symbolizes a quest for freedom and independence. Huck seeks freedom from the oppressive forces of society and familial expectations, while Jim pursues physical freedom from slavery and reunification with his family. The river itself becomes a metaphor for the journey towards personal liberation and self-discovery. Its vastness and unpredictability mirror the challenges and uncertainties that Huck and Jim face, yet it also offers them a path towards a brighter, more hopeful future. Part 3: Moral Dilemmas and Growth. Huck's journey down the Mississippi River with Jim, Miss Watson's runaway slave, profoundly impacts his perspective on race and slavery. Despite being raised in a society that views African Americans as property, Huck develops a close bond with Jim. This friendship forces Huck to reconsider his beliefs and question the morality of slavery. He begins to see Jim not as a mere slave, but as a human being deserving of respect and freedom. Throughout the novel, Huck wrestles with internal conflict. He is torn between obeying the laws and norms of the society he was raised in, which dictate that helping a runaway slave is illegal and sinful, and his growing empathy for Jim's plight. Huck's conscience is troubled by the teachings of religion and the influence of his upbringing, which initially lead him to consider betraying Jim by writing a letter to Miss Watson exposing his whereabouts. However, as Huck reflects on his friendship with Jim and the impact of his actions, he undergoes a significant moral awakening. He tears up the letter and resolves to protect Jim instead, prioritizing Jim's well-being and freedom over societal expectations. This decision marks a pivotal moment in Huck's moral development, showcasing his courage to defy unjust laws and stand up for what he believes is right. As Huck continues his journey with Jim on the raft, he matures emotionally and gains independence from the influences of society and authority figures. He learns to trust his own instincts and judgment, forming his own moral principles based on compassion, empathy, and a belief in human dignity. Huck's experiences challenge readers to examine their own beliefs about race, morality, and justice, while Mark Twain's narrative critiques the hypocrisy and moral failings of antebellum Southern society. Part 4: Satire and Social Commentary. Mark Twain's satire cuts deep into the heart of slavery and racism in the American South. Through Huck's journey with Jim, a runaway slave, Twain exposes the hypocrisy of a society that claims Christian morality while condoning the ownership and mistreatment of African Americans as property. Huck's growing friendship with Jim challenges his own prejudices and forces him to confront the humanity of a man considered less than human by the prevailing social order. Twain populates Huck's world with characters who embody various aspects of societal hypocrisy and moral decay. The Duke and the King, for example, are con men who exploit others for personal gain. Their schemes and manipulations not only provide comic relief but also serve as a scathing critique of the greed and moral bankruptcy of individuals who prey on the vulnerabilities of others. Similarly, characters like Huck Finn, Huck's abusive and irresponsible father, represent the darker aspects of society: ignorance, violence, and neglect. Pap's character underscores the failures of paternal responsibility and the societal structures that perpetuate cycles of poverty and abuse. Twain uses humor and irony to critique the social institutions that uphold slavery and perpetuate racial inequality. The Grangerford-Shepherdson feud, for instance, satirizes the senseless violence and irrationality of feuds rooted in familial pride and honor. The tragic deaths resulting from the feud highlight the destructive consequences of blind adherence to social codes and traditions. Additionally, Twain's portrayal of Miss Watson and the widow Douglas, who represent the benevolent but ultimately complicit aspects of white society, underscores the complexities of benevolence within a system of racial oppression. Their attempts to civilize Huck are juxtaposed with their ownership of Jim, revealing the contradictions inherent in their moral and ethical frameworks. Throughout the novel, Twain employs irony to highlight the disparities between professed ideals of freedom and justice and the harsh realities of racial prejudice and social inequality. Huck's moral growth and evolving conscience serve as a lens through which readers witness the injustices and moral failings of the society he navigates. The novel's setting along the Mississippi River serves as a metaphor for the broader journey towards social enlightenment and moral clarity. The river, with its twists and turns, mirrors Huck's own moral journey as he navigates the complexities of race, morality, and societal expectations. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn continues to provoke discussion and debate over its portrayal of race and its critique of American society. While celebrated for its literary merits and Twain's mastery of satire, the novel has also faced criticism for its use of racial slurs and its portrayal of African American characters. Nevertheless, the novel's enduring relevance lies in its exploration of timeless themes such as freedom, friendship, and the pursuit of moral integrity. Twain's satire challenges readers to examine their own beliefs and assumptions about race, justice, and the complexities of human nature, ensuring that The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn remains a cornerstone of American literature and a powerful critique of societal norms and injustices. Part 5, Conclusion and Controversy. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn concludes with a series of events that underscore the novel's themes of freedom, friendship, and moral growth, while also highlighting the controversies that have surrounded its portrayal of race and its impact on American literature. The novel culminates in Huck and Jim's reunion after their separate ordeals. Jim has been captured and imprisoned, while Huck, who has been living with the Grangerford family under an assumed identity, learns of Jim's captivity and plans a daring rescue. Huck's decision to rescue Jim, despite knowing that he risks severe consequences for aiding a runaway slave, reflects his moral growth and deepening bond with Jim. This act of defiance against societal norms marks Huck's rejection of the racism and injustice that pervade the society in which he lives. Tom Sawyer, Huck's friend from Mark Twain's earlier novel, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, reappears in the concluding chapters. Tom's elaborate and impractical plan to free Jim from captivity, despite Jim's already being legally freed by Miss Watson's will, serves as a comedic and ironic commentary on romanticized notions of adventure and heroism. Tom's insistence on turning Jim's liberation into a theatrical spectacle underscores Twain's critique of the frivolous and arbitrary nature of social conventions and moral codes. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn has been the subject of controversy since its publication, primarily due to its language and portrayal of African American characters. Critics argue that the novel perpetuates racial stereotypes and fails to adequately confront the systemic racism of its time. The novel's use of racial slurs and its depiction of Jim, despite being a sympathetic character and a symbol of resistance against oppression, have led to debates over whether the novel reinforces or critiques racial prejudices. Despite these criticisms, defenders of the novel argue that Mark Twain's intention was to expose the injustices of slavery and challenge readers to confront uncomfortable truths about race and society. Twain's use of satire and irony is seen as a deliberate strategy to provoke thought and stimulate discussion about the legacy of slavery in America. Despite its controversies, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn remains a seminal work in American literature, celebrated for its vivid portrayal of the Mississippi River, its exploration of themes such as freedom and moral conscience, and its complex characters. The novel continues to be studied in schools and universities for its historical significance and its contribution to discussions about race, identity, and the American experience. It challenges readers to grapple with the moral complexities of Huck's journey and the broader implications of racial injustice in American society. Mark Twain's skillful blend of humor, social critique, and moral inquiry ensures that The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn remains a timeless and provocative work that prompts readers to reconsider their assumptions about race, morality, and the pursuit of individual freedom. Part 6, Legacy. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn leaves a lasting legacy in American literature and cultural discourse, resonating with readers for its profound themes, narrative style, and social commentary. Mark Twain's novel is celebrated for its innovative use of language, regional dialects, and vernacular speech, which authentically capture the voices and perspectives of its characters. The narrative, told from Huck Finn's perspective, immerses readers in the journey down the Mississippi River and provides a vivid portrayal of Southern life in the mid-19th century. Twain's exploration of themes such as freedom, morality, and the search for identity has made the novel a staple in American literature curricula. Its rich symbolism and layered narrative continue to engage readers and scholars alike, prompting discussions on race relations, social justice, and the complexities of individual conscience. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn has had a profound impact on American culture, influencing subsequent generations of writers, artists, and thinkers. The novel's critique of social norms and institutions, particularly slavery and racial prejudice, challenged prevailing attitudes and sparked debates that continue to resonate in contemporary discourse. The character of Huck Finn, with his rebellious spirit and moral awakening, has become an enduring symbol of youthful defiance against injustice and conformity. Huck's journey down the Mississippi River is seen as a metaphorical quest for personal freedom and moral integrity, resonating with readers of all ages and backgrounds. Despite its literary acclaim, the novel has also been the subject of controversy due to its language and portrayal of African American characters. Critics argue that Twain's use of racial slurs and stereotypes perpetuates racist attitudes, while defenders contend that the novel critiques and exposes the injustices of slavery. Debates over the novel's depiction of race and racial dynamics continue to fuel discussions in classrooms, literary circles, and beyond. The controversy underscores the novel's enduring relevance and its capacity to provoke critical reflection on issues of race, identity, and social justice. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn has inspired numerous adaptations across various media, including film, theater, and music. These adaptations reinterpret Twain's themes and characters for contemporary audiences, offering new perspectives on the novel's enduring themes and cultural impact. Scholars and artists continue to explore and interpret Twain's work through diverse lenses, examining its relevance to contemporary social issues and its contributions to American literary tradition. The novel's adaptability and cultural resonance ensure its continued influence on popular culture and intellectual discourse. The novel remains a cornerstone of American literary education, prompting discussions on race, morality, and the American experience in classrooms nationwide. Its examination of moral dilemmas and social injustices encourages readers to critically engage with historical and contemporary issues. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn challenges readers to confront uncomfortable truths about America's past while advocating for empathy, justice, and the pursuit of individual freedom. Its legacy as a transformative work of literature continues to inspire generations of readers to reflect on the complexities of human nature and society.